do you find yourself that you're seeing a lot of people having trouble getting married?
Yeah, there's so many reasons, as you said, Sheikh Shadi. I think from a philosophical perspective, it's the marriage is disconnected from sex. So for
Mm-hmm.
marriage, you have to become something. As they say, you have to become something. But for sex, obviously not. And that is one of the biggest problem I've seen in people from my culture. When they will come, they will say, okay, let me wait for my son and for my daughter to complete their education, to become doctor, engineer, whatever. And in the meanwhile, the prime year of their youth, they are forced because we are living in a very hypersexualized society.
Yep.
So I think that is one of the big factors that marriage is not important. Parents forget about the tarbiyah, how they should do tarbiyah and about parenting workshops. Parents are not even giving priority to marriage in a dinner discussion.
Yeah. Subhanallah.
Masajid are having obviously Quran memorization class, beautiful. My kids are memorizing the Quran, alhamdulillah. But I'm saying that how many masajid are having Islamic marriage workshops to train the high schoolers, college, that this phase will come. How do you make the decision? Premarital issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think we as a society, as a Muslim community, we need to work. If we are not assimilating, if we are not blending in, and we don't have option to blend in, isolation is not a problem. Isolationist is not a solution. We have to positively integrate. We have to have our own protocol with divine guardrails. We have to have these discussions as a parents, as a preacher. Otherwise, our kids will be hijacked by hijackers.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we have imported so many gender wars and people are hating each other because we didn't teach from the member that you both are awliya of each other. That's why we left to hijackers. So I think my I'm really passionate on this topic, what you just mentioned. I have two books on this, and a third book is coming about gender wars, and fourth book will be fiqh of family.
MashaAllah.
One of the idea is I've given 10, 12 years, 13 years to do the research and analyzing different community of how this issue, how deep this issue is. Actually, my PhD topic was Isharat Tarbiyah fi Dawi Surah Yusuf, the aspects of Tarbiyah
MashaAllah.
and Surah Yusuf. And I was just focusing how all these things holistically can give a good family unit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of work need to be done. But Alhamdulillah, I have seen a new generation of imams and scholars who are addressing relevant issues from the member, from the masajid, and but still it's a drop in the ocean. A lot of work need to be done because there's a lot of young brothers and sisters are having difficult time finding righteous brothers and sisters.
It's amazing to think that in the past, a tribe or a civilization, a lot of the policies that they put in place were just to continue the existence of that tribe. We've been able to keep people alive and avoid a lot of sicknesses and plagues and defeat a lot of bacteria and increase the human population to such a number that we seem to have forgotten that staying alive is a huge achievement. Keeping society in existence is a huge achievement. But we're now coming upon a different problem because this idea of staying alive and having numbers is not a given. We think it's a given. What we see is not that humans will cease to exist because they kill each other, wars, nor because of bacteria and viruses and plagues, which has wiped out like 3/5 of Europe at some point, and have wiped out entire civilization, but cities, whole city, the whole thing wiped out because of a plague. How many travelers have walked into a city and found it what they call khariba? Just bodies laying around and empty buildings. We're not worried about that, but we're something snuck up on us that I don't think humans realize, which is lack of desire to cohabit. Now we're post-zina. Zina was the problem. Then liwat was a problem. Now, absolutely uninterested young men in cohabitation, and most likely it's because they just watch pornography. Then they're too nervous to have human interactions, so he will live his life on pornography and he will expire. Then this is actually most likely to be more dangerous epidemic than World War III or any plague or bacteria. We're seeing it. There's articles every once in a while on the alarming population dip, and there's a mathematical number there. When is it irreversible? And that's scary. And that's probably more likely to be the problem than anything else of the other three.
Like this, as you were saying, Shaykhana, it reminded me when Quran puts amwal and awlad together, al-malu wal banuna zinat al-hayat ad-dunya.
Subhanallah.
And then you see political scientists like John Marshmeyer and others, they would say economy and population are the two big indicators for the superpower's economy, right? Or
Subhanallah.
subhanallah.
So true.
And
So
then you will
true.
fit all the ahadith in this, and you will say, okay, now we know why Prophet
Yeah.
Muhammad SAW encouraged this, and then you will appreciate beauty of Islam, subhanallah.
When I look at our community, I try to ask myself, where would we be if immigration completely stopped? Because we can't fool ourselves that our community is growing from us. It's growing because of immigration too.
Yeah, very true.
So the question is that when immigration stops, which is inevitable, it's going to stop eventually or decrease completely, or other places will pop up and you'll start seeing everyone immigrating to the Khalij better than coming to America. Probably right now, you probably make more money if you can go to Khalij. You just won't have security. You can be told to leave anytime. Or even Asia. When would it ever happen that going to East Asian nations would be more lucrative than coming to the United States? So if we were to remove immigration from the equation, does our current Muslim American population, are we strong enough to increase population? Right. And increase our
Yeah.
growth. Because with that comes economic growth, it comes dawah, it comes as a chance to show what this religion stands for. And I have come to the conclusion that if you do got the right faith and religion, one of the signs of that will be population growth. That's going to be one, because that means you've successfully transmitted the belief, the faith, from one generation to the next, and you've successfully convinced them, or that the iman billah is actually real enough, true enough to keep the next generation from committing adultery and fornication, or being just careerist, hedonist, semi-hedonist. Because Muslims have a version of hedonism. It's just, okay, yeah, I'm Muslim, I practice, pray and everything, but it's just me and my career. That's a Muslim version of halal hedonism. Destructive to society. When he gets married and has kids, that is actually the demonstrative proof that he is willing to control his desires. Why would you be willing to control your desires in a world, the whole world's open for you? You can get a job, leave your family, and be a hedonist. He doesn't do that, right? He chooses to control himself. That's a sign of iman, in my opinion. So as at the end result, the growth of population is actually a sign of true faith and practice. So I look at that as a marker, and that's why this issue is a big deal. And to facilitate people getting married is a huge deal.